Chapter 21, verse 2. Vayidar Yisrael neder Hashem. And Jewish people made a vow to God, Vayomar, and they said, Im nason titenes amazeh biadi. If you'll give these people into my hand, Vacharamti et arehem. And I will, the word Hacharamti, Rashi says, Akdish lo amor gavoah. I'll give it all over to God. So Israel made a vow. Doesn't say who they are. They have the place, chapter 21, verse 2. And he said, if you give these people over to Hashem, then I will dedicate all their money to God. Vayishma Hashem b'kol Yisrael. God heard the sound of Israel. Vayitenes Kanani. Vayachrem etem et arihem ekra shem makom chorma. So, okay, so God heard their sound of the voice. Oh, and he gave over the Canaanites, and he segregated them and their cities, and he called the place Hormah. Pasuk Daled. Vayisume Hor Hahar derech Yamsuf, and he traveled from Hor Hahar by way of Yamsuf. Oh wait, I skipped the Rashi. Elliot, you read the Rashi to Pasuk Gimel. He killed them. So basically, that they killed the enemies. And their cities, Rashi says. So the word chayrem means two different things. It means killed and it means consecrated or consecrated to God. And now we come to one of the most, I don't know, I hope it's a respectful word to say bizarre, one of the most bizarre psukim with the Rashi. Very, very hidden story in the Bible. We've been studying the Bible for many years, and this is a hidden story. Even people who know Chumash very well don't always know this story. So we'll see the pasuk. It says, verse 4, Vayisume Hor Hahar derech Yamsuf. They traveled from Hor Hahar by way of the Yamsuf. Vespobet Eretz Edom, to go around the land of Edom. Atektsar nefesh ha'am baderech. And the spirit of the people grew short with the road. What is going on here? Derech Yamsuf. They traveled by way of the Yamsuf. Okay, would you read that, please, Elliot? Okay, let's go slowly. Once Aaron died, and this war, we just said that the Canaanites attacked, but Rashi calls it Amalek, so they attacked. So now, go on, Chazru achareihem. They went backwards. They went back to the Yamsuf. So that's why it says they traveled towards the Yamsuf. Because why are they going back to the Yamsuf? So Rashi says once Aaron died and they had this battle, they ran back to the Yamsuf. Go on. This is the route by which they went back. When the decree of the Meraglim came. As it says, they traveled to the wilderness by way of the Yamsuf. Go on. So they went backwards 7 journeys. There were 42 journeys. Also, there are 42 lines in the Torah. And there are 42 journeys, and they went back 7 of those journeys. Beirut, Bnei Yakan, Mosera. Bnei Israel traveled from Beirut to Bnei Yakan to Mosera. Go on. So it says. So here comes the issue. In Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 6, it says Aaron died in Mosera, but here it says he died in the mountain called Hor. So which place did he die? So that's what Rashi's pointing out. We have this contradiction. Go on. Did he die in Mosera? He died in Hor Hahar. So what must it mean? So it must mean Elasham Chazru. There they went back. Bnei Israel went back to Mosera, V'itabu ma'od, and they were crying for Aaron. V'hispidu ki'iluhu b'fneihem, and they eulogized him in Mosera as though he was actually there. So right away we see, what is Rashi saying? Okay, there's two places he says he died. It says he died in Hor HaHar, and he says he died in Mosera. So Rashi says he didn't really die in Mosera. What happened was, after he died in Hor HaHar, Bnei Israel went back to Mosera and cried for Aaron as though he was actually there. They eulogized him there.
It said Ubanu B'Masot U'Tim Sa'ot At Shem Masot.
If you go and check back from all their journeys, you'll find that from Mosera to Hor HaHar is 7 journeys. Actually, there's a problem with this too. In his commentary to Devarim, Rashi says that there are actually 8 journeys, and here it says 7 journeys. So it depends whether he's counting Hor HaHar as one of them. But this is a bizarre incident, and it gets even worse because they wanted to go all the way back, and there was a civil war. But that's not referred to in this Rashi that we're going to see later on. I mean, we're not going to see it today. But here we see that Bnei Israel, after Aaron died, went back from this battle 7 journeys. They went backwards. And that's how Rashi explains it. They went back. Derech Yam Suf L'Spo B'Eretz Edom. Go on, read the Rashi.
L'Sovev Et Eretz Edom Shelo Natata Lavor Aretzim.
Okay. So basically, they went around the land of Edom. Hold on, I want to just say, Jeffrey, we're studying in memory of your father. What is your father's Hebrew name? Shammai ben Eliezer. Okay. And in the Bible, I mean, in the Talmud, Eliezer was a Shamuti. He was also from the house of Shammai. So it's appropriate that there be Shammai and Eliezer. Probably your long line of traditions of people giving the name Shammai in your family. Yeah, because Eliezer is also a family of Shammai. What? I know like 4 people named it. Yeah. And I know a few people named Shammai. It's not as unusual as you think. I mean, Shammai was a great figure. It's just the rule is not like him because we rule like Hillel. But in the world to come, it'll be like him. The time of the Mashiach, when we're pure. So he's utopian. Hillel is more of a like realist, a practical person who lives in this world. So he's trying to bring everybody in. When in the time of the Mashiach, where we can have perfection, there we need Shammai. He says, tell me everything on 1 foot, and he can't do it. Yeah, well, that's not the only thing he does. But, okay. But the Talmud also says that the students of Hillel and the students of Shammai married each other. So they married each other. And, okay. The next Rashi says, but the people's spirit grew short. Okay, Elliot, please read it for us. With the harshness of the road. The hardship of the road was very difficult for them. He said, now we're very close to coming into the land. And we are about, but we are going backwards. That's what our forefathers did. And they stayed there for 38 years, meaning say they're worried that because they went back, they're going to end up in the wilderness for 38 years. Okay, we don't have to read the rest of that, Rashi. Go now to the next pasuk. The next verse says, "Vaydaber ha'am be'elokim," and the people spoke to God, Moshe, and people spoke to God and Moshe. They said, "Lama Ha'elisunu miMitzrayim wamus b'midbar. Why did you take us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? Ki ein lechem ve'ein mayim. There's no bread and there's no water. V'nafshenu katza b'lechem hakol kel. And our souls hate this disgusting bread. So I heard a beautiful word today from Rabbi Eli Melch Biederman. He says, "What do you mean? What do you mean they didn't have bread? They didn't have water? We just saw that they had the well. They had the well of Miriam, and they had the mun. Why do they say we have no bread and we have no water? What does that even mean? You follow the question? Why do they say we have no bread and no water? They had bread. So they said, no, we have bread and we have water, but we just have to go and get it every day. But unlike the other nations, they have it stored up, and we don't have it stored up. And so that's not that we don't want to have to depend upon you. But Hashem did it so that we would go and turn to him every day, like the father who gives his child an allowance, doesn't want to give him all the money all at once because he wants the child to come and visit him every day and ask for more money. So that's the point. And that's what he said. They thought that they didn't have it, but they had it. They just didn't have it in the way they were supposed to have it. Shkoyach Yehuda, how you do? Aryeh. Which do you prefer, Aryeh or Yehuda? What? I'm so confused by that. What? All right, shkoyach. Okay, so the people complained against God and Moshe. That's what the pasuk said. Moshe. Okay, Elliot, please, Rakasha, read the Rashi. Hishvu Eved Lakono. They compared the slave to his owner, meaning to say, they compared Moshe to his creator. Yeah, but no. So they spoke to both of them. They compare Moshe and God. Our soul is disgusted by mius. This is an expression of disgust. Kitzur nefesh is like they were impatient and they were disgusted. So why are they calling it lechem hakokel, disgusting food? So why are they calling it that? The mun. So this is something Rashi had said before, that you didn't have to defecate the mun. It was a special blessing that the mun didn't need to be defecated. Okay, go on. So therefore, that was a bracha for them. So they called it kilokel, which means like from the word kal, insubstantial. Sheyispach me'enu. They said in the future, this man is going to blow up in our insides. They didn't believe that it was possible that they could absorb the man and not defecate it. So therefore, they said they couldn't believe it. So they said, this is not possible. Is there anybody who's born who doesn't defecate? Okay, go on.
I think it's the last.
Oh yeah, the next pasuk. Vayishalach Hashem ba'am, and God sent on the people as hanechashim. Right? Oh, wow, Colby. Who would you come with you? Who are you talking to out there? Aaron pulling up. Did you grab a chumash, Colby? You know, you're an example of a person who says a little and does a lot. That's a big compliment. Always be the person who says a little and does a lot rather than the person who says a lot and does a little. Okay. So it says, the next pasuk says, Vayishalach Hashem ba'amas hanechashim asrafim vayinashchu asam vayamas amrav miYisrael. This is, do you ever see the medical symbol? What's the symbol of the medical? That's coming from this source. This is right here. Did you know that, Jeff? You must have known it. You must have known it. So you were pre-med, and your sister was the dean of a medical school, right? Didn't you have a sister who was a dean? A sister-in-law? Who was a dean? No, you didn't have nobody, and there was nobody in your family. Was a dentist or a doctor, but they weren't deans of the medical school in Virginia. All right, I got it all wrong. Sorry. Jeff's got a very prestigious, prolific family. Yeah, so it says, okay, so God sent to them, hello, Aaron, shkoyach. God sent to them the snakes and the serpents, and they bit the people. Vayamas Amrav Israel, many of them died. Why specifically a snake? Let's see what Rashi says. Elliot, please. The Sorfin es Adam, they burnt a person. The Eres Shinehem, with the venom of their fangs. Okay, go on. And they bit the people.
Yavo Nafash Chakala, I would say evil, the Ara, the
Mimotziei Diba. It's very good. He says, let the snake, which was punished because it spoke Lashon Hara, and let it be punished on those who speak malicious talk, because they were speaking improperly. So that was what's going on.
Yavo Nafash Chakal, not Nitamin, Lo Tam Echad, the Para Mika Huye Tova Shedavar Echad, Mishtane Hem Nikama Tamin.
Okay, so the next thing he says, let the snake come. So the first explanation why a snake came was because the snake was punished for speaking Lashon Hara, or speaking bad talk about the tree of knowledge, and therefore, and so therefore he's going to want to exact punishment on those who speak harshly. So too, let the snake come on those who are ungrateful, because the snake, what God punished with the snake is that he's going to eat the dust and the earth, and so therefore he tastes nothing. So God, and he's going to come and take punishment because the man has many flavors, and they were ungrateful about that. I mean, God gave us all to them, and they were ungrateful. So look what happens. The people came to Moshe. They said, we sinned. We spoke bad about God and you. Pray to God. Remove the snake. Moshe prayed for the people. Rashi says, read the Rashi. Right, so we see from here, if somebody asks you for forgiveness, don't be cruel. Grant the forgiveness. Anybody ever have this in their life? Somebody did something wrong to them and they asked for forgiveness? Don't be cruel about it. Grant the forgiveness. It's very hard it's easy to say, I forgive you. It's very hard to actually forgive. You want to hear a story about that? So one time somebody did something wrong to Rabbi Yisrael Salanter. He's a great rabbi, and Rabbi Yisrael Salanter forgave him. He apologized to Rabbi Yisrael Salanter. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter forgave him, and then afterwards he took out some money and he gave it to the guy. He says, go buy yourself like something. He said, why are you giving me money? So Rabbi Yisrael Salanter said, the human nature is the more you give to somebody, the more you like them. So I was at this place where I was feeling like I want to get to a place of really forgiving you. So in order to do that, I need to give to you. It's a psychological insight. What do you think about that, Arya? So I'm happy to insult everybody here. and then apologized to them. Okay. So what did he do? Okay. Vayomer Shema Moshe Asel Chasaraf. This is the medical sign, Jeffrey. It says, make a. You told me one time, Jeffrey, what your father did. He lived in Philadelphia, and he lived yeah. And what was his job? Yeah. Okay.
Then he came to Washington and he was a researcher in education.
Okay, so
He was the one that pioneered training people
and the irony is that none of his children are vocational. They're all lawyers. They're all lawyers. Okay, beautiful. What a yeah.
Finally, it was 59. He arranged his crash course for 6 months. They were using his text for the PhD. And
Oh, so he never got it. Went quickly. The world goes terrifying like a snap of a finger. The world goes. I mean, I'm 50. It doesn't feel like I've been around 50 years. It feels like I'm still 20. I could still run with you boys. Okay, so God said to Moshe, Saraf, make this banner. Visimoto al nes. Make this serpent on a banner. Take a snake, put it on a banner. Whoever, let me just say this and then we'll stop to David. I'll say whoever looks at the snake will live. But why is that the case? That if you looked at the banner, you would live, but if you didn't look at it, you would die. If you looked at this snake, you would live. If you didn't look at it, you would die. So I have my theory. Want to hear my theory? My theory was the people who looked at it were showing that they didn't think it was God. Because you're not allowed to look at God's face and live. So only by showing that you don't think it's God, that you recognize that the miracle doesn't come from the snake, the healing isn't coming from the snake, the healing is coming from God, only then would you live. All right, so let's stop here and daven mincha. Yes, Shakoach.
Why do they need the snake?
The snake was something that was to remind them of their sin. We take Rashi's symbolic explanation, but yeah, we can do more of it tomorrow. But yeah, you're right. But the point is that they needed the snake for the symbolism, but they also needed to remember that it wasn't that the snake wasn't God. Hold on, let me just stop the recording.